Hold on to your butts. These are the Squashbuckler Diaries. Welcome back. My name is Guy Hasson, and you are listening to the Squashbuckler Diaries podcast. And I am feeling well again, feeling fully healthy, and hopefully you can hear that in my voice. No longer the smoking deep voice of I don't sound sick still, I hope. I don't sound like I have a cold anymore, I hope. And so I can tell you the story, the continuing story of Joy Shelley, the girl who lives in dreams. And in season 1, she lives in her father's dreams. Who knows what'll happen after when she finds out she's in a dream and there's a way out of the dream. All of that is coming later. Who knows who she'll meet? Who knows what'll happen? Who knows if she'll ever return to her father's dreams? Who knows? Who knows? I know, but, and probably actually most of the people listening to this already know, right? You know, because a few people are listening today. Most of the people will come in from the future having read one of the books. Lost in Dreams 1, Lost in Dreams 2. You have seen Joy at age 6 or 9 or 12 or 15 or 18 and so on and so on. You know what becomes, some of what becomes of Joy, right? Unless you come in at the end. And then you know what actually becomes of Joy. But that is getting way ahead of ourselves right now. Today, she is 5.5. And we are exploring what is it like to grow up in the dream, where the rules of reality are different, where she lives a life of adventure from birth to death, from actual birth. And last time, we joined her at age 2.5, where she only learned to climb the mast by herself and called villains ahoy and had fun. Today, she's 5.5, and we're climbing the mast again and seeing what else is happening. So let's learn a bit more about Joy and about her world. Episode 142, Climbing the Mast, Part 2, The Flickering World. Joy's age 5.5, told by the Red Dragon. The older she got, the more things Dragon Little tried, the more she tested her strength and abilities. At age 4.5, she tried climbing the mast with one hand and 2 legs only. At age 5, she tried without success to climb just with her feet. At 5.5, she tried something else. She tried and tried for many weeks while her father was away, living whatever life he was living in his waking world without her knowledge. Only once she had mastered it was she ready to show it to him. He appeared in the middle of the deck on Bonny's Revenge, as always in exactly the same spot. She had been ready and waiting for him for almost 2 hours. The second he appeared, she started jumping up and down. "You gotta watch this, Dad! You gotta watch this!" This was done so fast following his appearance that he shook his head trying to concentrate on what was happening. As a result, the night sky, the cities in the clouds, and even the winds appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again. It is the world he creates every time he appears, no doubt without his knowledge. Okay. The skies, the stars, the cities in the clouds settled and appeared as if permanent. "What's up, Joy?" "Watch this." She jumped up at the mast and twisted in midair. She caught and hugged the wooden mast and made sure that her head was at the bottom and her feet above. After a struggle, her feet hugged the mast as well. What are you doing?" Watch, I can climb the mast." And relatively quickly, she started clambering up. I'm going ass first, she shouted, her head all red, but her nearly transparent skin showing all the blood vessels engorged with blood. What's the point of this?" Ass first, she repeated. Within 2 minutes, she reached the crow's nest with her feet. She turned around and sat in it. Ta-da! Dragonfather clapped. "Oh, who's my little swashbuckler?" "I'm a squashbuckler," she corrected him. Dragonfather turned his back to her, waving a hand dismissively. It was a sore spot for him. Yeah, I'm not talking to you. Told by the Red Dragon. Hashtags Joy, Justin, the meaning of squashbuckling. So, a few things here, just to give you a little more context. If you want to know more about the Flickering world, what he creates and what stays behind when he's gone, check out episode 12 of the podcast, which is called The Empty World, where Joy explores the world. She explores all of space. And if you want to know what the entire thing about squashbuckling is, and why he doesn't want to talk to her, and why she calls it squashbuckling, not swashbuckling, check out all the episodes with the hashtags, the meaning of squashbuckling. You can find that at the website guyhasson.com, GUYHASSON.com. There's a lot of them before us. There's more of them in the future ahead of us, and these are called the Squashbuckler Diaries because that is how Joy calls it. And by the way, I may have told this before, but a little side story about where the word squashbuckler comes from. In reality, I was writing about Joy, and I was writing swashbuckling, and I was tired. I was writing the Lost in Dreams book. This is before the diaries came to be. And suddenly I got auto-corrected by, I think it was, I'm typing on Google. So, it says, you spelled swashbuckling wrong. And I said, no, I didn't. It said swashbuckling. And he says, no. Google talks to me. The autocorrect talks to me in my head. So he says, no, you didn't. And I had to look at it 3 times. I was tired, which meant I should have been writing. And, I noticed, I said squashbuckling. Ha 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 ha. That is funny. I found it very funny. I put it on Facebook. Hey, look what an idiot I am. I just typed in squashbuckler, squashbuckling. And then someone posted a picture of a squash being buckled in. By the way, there's an episode about that too. A squash being buckled in. And I thought that was really funny. He says, that's squashbuckling. And then when I was writing Lost in Dreams again, I thought, you know what? I should keep that in. I should keep that a thing. It appears in the first page of the Lost in Dreams book. She calls it squashbuckling. He calls it swashbuckling. So a few days, and it's something that really annoys the living out of him. So he hates the fact that she calls it squashbuckling, and he loves swashbuckling so much. So then came the idea a few weeks or months later to do a diary of Joy's life, because the book, even though they cover all of her life, it's not enough, because what happens between the adventures, what happens before the first book when she finds she's in a dream, what happens between age 6, which is book 1, and age 9, and how does she cope with everything she discovered in book 1, and so on, all the stuff that's coming. It's not enough, and I want to cover her entire life. And I thought I should call it the Squashbuckler Diaries, because she calls it squashbuckling. It's so cool. It's nice. It's a nice name. No one else has it. It's intriguing. I like it. So that's how the Squashbuckler Diaries came to be. That's the origin stories of the word squashbuckler. But it takes nothing away from the fact that it annoys Justin so much. So do check out all those other episodes where they talk about that, the meaning of squashbuckling. Next time, the tale of the evil forest fairy king. And for those of you who want to do some homework, for those of you who want to come prepared and want some context, the evil forest fairy king has appeared before. It was in episode 8. It was called The Secret Weapon. Joy was 2 years old. And now she's not. And there's stuff about the evil forest fairy king that requires you knowing what happened before. So check it out. And now, finally, the credits. The Squashbuckler Diaries are written and read by me, Guy Hasson. All the tags mentioned in this story are searchable at the website. You can find all the stories there in written form and, in fact, 150 Squashbuckler Diaries more. The Squashbuckler Diaries is the diary of Joy Shelley, the girl who lives in dreams. She'll be called the Forgotten Girl by her father. She'll be a true heroine. She'll change the world. This project shows her entire life from birth to death. Check out the website at guyhasson.com. That's GUYHASSON.com. I've been an author and playwright for more than 30 years, and this is the first time I've used the guyhasson.com website, because The Girl in the Dream is my life project. If you have questions, if you want to comment, please do. You can comment at the website or email me at guyhasson@gmail.com. That's GUYHASSON @gmail.com. The theme music is called Brass Gentleman and is created by Thomas Howardek. My name is Guy Hasson, and this is my life project. Come back tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow for more.